Hey guys, welcome to Trinity's training page. I had a question of the day today. Today's question is brought to you by Hunter Childers. Hunter's question was, how can I get my dog to pick up a duck without doing force fetch? Okay. Uh, Hunter, I'm not sure how old your dog is, but we start our dogs out really, really young. Someone asked me the other day also about how young do we start dogs. Well, we start our puppies retrieving at about 5 weeks old, and we do that with, we start out with a dead pigeon because I want to get them, accustomed to feathers and that sort of thing. And then we, quickly move to other objects, little puppy bumpers and little small paint rollers and all that. But I'll get back to your question here. How do you get your dog to pick up a duck without doing force fetch? Okay. Um, I'm assuming that your dog has a good, strong desire to retrieve, that was instilled in them when they're young. What we do here at the kennel, when I get a new dog to come into the kennel here that maybe hasn't been doing much retriever work, or maybe the dog just hasn't had a good beginning foundation. We start out by throwing a little paint roller here. It's real fuzzy. It's extremely light. Can't throw them very far. We always have that new dog on a rope anyway, so I'm not real worried about throwing them very far. This is a 15-foot rope. That's a rope that we start dogs out on here at the kennel. We go for a paint roller to start with. Now we'll get those dogs retrieving that paint roller really well. Usually the first day or two, they'll run out there and get it. We'll do several sessions during the day. I might just throw 3 or 4 little retrieves, just maybe 5 or 10 feet. Big time praise when they bring that bumper or that paint roller back. Lots of petting and everything. And you can go back to the very beginning of this group page here, Trinity's training page, and you can see this actually happen because Trinity, she did have some desire to retrieve, but kind of only things that she liked. She was real good with a tennis ball. Then we got her moved to a paint roller, and then we switched from a paint roller to a bumper. Okay. Well, I had a lot of trouble with Trinity in that first couple of videos on picking up this bumper. And she'd pick this paint roller up like money. Okay, she picked it up no problem. All right, but then we got to the bumper, and then she didn't really care too much about the bumper. So what I needed to do is I needed to put something on this bumper to entice her to pick the bumper up. Now I know that Trinity had a good beginning as a puppy because I know Rebecca Medeiros, and she starts her dogs very well. So I know that as a puppy, Trinity had dead quail thrown for her and pigeon wings and some pigeons and maybe some live pigeons. She had been exposed to birds, so I knew that she already liked birds. So what I did is I simply went over to my duck freezer over here. I broke off a wing off of that duck, just like I'm doing here. Okay, broke the wing off. Made sure it didn't have any bones or anything like that sticking out. And if you'll watch the video, you'll see I just took this wing and I just took some electrical tape and I wrapped around that thing. And I throwed this bumper for her, and the first time she picked it up because she recognized feathers, okay? And she likes feathers, all right? Well, we worked on this for, I don't know, 3 or 4 days, throwing this bumper with these wings on it. Well, then one day I took the wing off, put it in my pocket, had my tape, had my bumper, and I hup, and I throwed that bumper for Trinity, and lo and behold, she picked it right up, no problem, okay? So then we went forward. We had a few speed bumps there. We'd go back to the wing and the bumper, and then we'd go back to the bumper, back and forth. And then eventually she just got to where she liked to pick up the bumper without the wing. So we moved away from that, okay? Then we started throwing 3-inch bumpers for fun bumpers. Once we made it fun and she liked it, we started throwing a 3-inch bumper. We moved to other objects such as this Dokin, and then we just came over to the old duck freezer, and we got a duck one day, and we started throwing her ducks, okay? Now that's all done on a voluntary basis for Trinity. She fell in love with retrieving, and that's why she does it. Okay, I'm assuming your dog is probably picking up bumpers and things, and maybe not picking up a duck. Um, you know, I like I like to train dogs. I enjoy training dogs. I don't mind doing force fetch, and if you've watched my force fetch procedure, it's very slow paced, very relaxed. We don't rush the dog too much. We do use force. We use the ear pinch with Trinity. I do occasionally use a toe hitch, and we use the e-collar to condition to fetch. Okay. Now, as far as picking up a duck without force fetch, I would I would probably start out by getting her excited about birds. I would start out, we would go down to our fly pen down here, and we would get some pigeons, or get a pigeon, and pull the flight feathers out of it where it couldn't fly off, and take those wings and kind of crisscross them where it can't flap its wings. Either that, or you can take some blue painter's tape and kind of wrap around him to keep him from flapping his wings, because the last thing you want to happen is for your dog to run out there after that pigeon and it start flapping its wings and slapping your dog in the face, and then the next thing you know, he don't want nothing to do with birds at all. Okay, so you need to secure those wings somehow, and just pitch that pigeon out there and make it a game for your dog. You know, kind of encourage them to go get the bird on land. Um, that works really well. Sometimes if I have a dog that doesn't really get excited about birds on land, I'll take them out here to my swim by pond, okay? And I'll throw them a bumper in there a few times and get them retrieving that bumper, because I've already worked on all these objects. I'll get them retrieving that bumper a few times and get them really pumped up and excited about it. And then I'll take and slip that bumper in my pocket and get that bird out, and I'll throw it out there. And 9 out of 10 times they'll pick that bird right up, okay? Because they're excited about going in the water and getting the bumper. And you know, then all of a sudden we slip them a pigeon out there, and in the water, dogs are a little bit more out of their element. They're in a little bit less control because they don't have their feet on the ground. And I think that's kind of why they'll pick that up sometimes. But you know, the main thing is if you want your dog to pick up a duck, again, as was in our last question that we done, you need to think outside the box and figure out a way to make this exciting for your dog to do. And you know, if you can't seem to get that done, then there's always force fetch, okay? So I hope I've answered your question, given you some ideas, encouraged you to think outside the box on ways to get your dog to pick up birds. After you do your pigeon, you get them retrieving that for a few days, then you want to go, you know, if you've got smaller ducks, and then, you know, work up to a larger duck like a mallard. Shouldn't have any problems, but I guess if you do, get on Trinity's training page and watch some force fetch videos and get that dog force fetch, and she'll be reliable and pick up birds for you from here on out. And the instant that she doesn't, you'll have the tools to correct it with. I do appreciate your question. Y'all have a great day. We're going to go get Trinity and get her going.